What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and a huge thanks goes to Allbase, who has historically put together a lot of data. He is our data collector. Season 2 he put together lists of rank distribution among players online and character usage data, and he has now updated this for Season 3 of Tekken 7. And we have some very interesting statistics we can take a look at. So we have character usage data here. Here we have average of each rank division, you know, where you find most players in what ranks. And here Tekken God Prime, what characters have the most amount of primes. And at the absolute top there you can see Leroy, 5.78% of online Leroys are at prime, which is far above the average characters you can see. The second in line is Kazuya, has a lot of primes. So this is of course testament to how unbelievably broken Leroy has been and how absurdly easy he is to play as well. But it should be noted that the character has attracted a lot of toxic players who like to, well, you know, save their ranks and plug. But that doesn't, that probably counts for a tiny proportion. This is mostly Leroy being super overpowered and actually legitimately a pay-to-win character. It's not hyperbole with Leroy. It's no exaggeration from Butthurt FGC members. He is legit pay-to-win. Unbelievably overpowered and so simplistic your brain starts to hurt because it's too easy. Your brain is not utilized when you play him, so you slowly grow demented because you're not doing problem solving. But I do want to start with the character usage data, if that is all right. And again, if you want to watch, there are more statistics. If you want to check it all, I'm going to link below in the comment section. And again, huge thanks to Allbase for giving us all of this. So these are the most popular characters, and as you can see in the top, you have Paul and Kazuya, and we've known this for a long time. They are the most popular, and then Brian. And it has looked like that for God knows how long, but as you can see, sorry for it being so small, I can't really zoom at the moment, but again, check below and you can do whatever you want, zoom, minimize. Brian used to be at 4th place in Season 2, now he is at 3rd place in Season 3, so he's more popular now. And you can see he's added their change, +1. Armor King still remains the most popular DLC character by a mile, but in Season 2 he was at 3rd place. So he has dropped 1 place, but you can still see how he keeps his momentum. He was released in Season 2 and everyone's like, oh, amazing design, can't wait to play Armor King. And you'd think that would fade away, the gimmick of his visuals, but he still remains super fucking popular, as you can see. But the character is also not very strong at the highest level of play, but of course now we're talking about every level of play, beginner, intermediate, high level, pro level. So good on Armor King, the king of DLC, to say the least. And then we have Dragunov Jin, and then you have Leroy. He's at 7th place. That is not bad at all for an original character. Remember, Armor King came in not as an unknown, but as a, you know, classic legacy character with a brand new hype design. Leroy is original and he makes it to 7th place, and Tekken DLC characters have historically had it pretty hard to gain traction within the player base. But as you can see, Leroy immediately scoops into 7th place there. So he's earned them a lot of bucks. Although Armor King, the king of the DLC. So happy to see that with Leroy. Thankfully, with 2 patches now, he has been sort of fixed, although a few more details have to be sorted out before I feel he's completely fair. I think you can still argue in some way that he's the best character when you look at his tools and then you factor in how easy he is to play. But on paper right now, I would say Akuma is stronger if both players are... Well, if Akuma plays unbelievably good. But Leroy doesn't even have to be very strong. So Leroy, and then we have King, always popular. Devil Jin is high up. Heihachi is high up. So basically all the Mishimas are very popular. Kazumi, Lo, Horan, Claudio, Josie, Negan. Doing well for a DLC. Used to be 33rd place and is now in 16th place. And let me tell ya, they fixed Negan. As I've said in many of my videos, Negan was a work in progress in Season 2. They released him not fully functional in my opinion. But now fixed intimidation stance, gave you many more ways of going into intimidation stance. 100 times more fun to play and a much stronger character. And as you can see, that has paid off and a lot of people are now excited about Negan. And then we have Noctis below. Steve, Lars, Shaheen, Asuka, Miguel, Katarina, Alisa, Lily. Lily? I never see Lily, but this is... You don't see her in high ranks, and I believe Lily is still pretty popular in green ranks. Jack 7, Fengwei, Leo, Lucky Chloe. Oh, never see Lucky Chloe. Lee. Gigas. 28th place? Used to be 31? Okay, interesting. Geese. Higher up than I thought he would be. Marduk, Yoshimitsu, Bob, Xiaoyu, Julia, Eddie. Akuma is far down. Nina, Master Raven, Lei, Kuma, Anna, Eliza. Wow, what a failure she has been. Panda, Zafina, and Ganryu. So they chose to include Ganryu and Zafina as DLC in Season 3. And no wonder they waited for Season 3 because they knew those characters have no traction whatsoever with the player base. But still, very happy for people who like Ganryu and Zafina. You got those characters, and just know that it will probably not be financially viable in the end for Namco to have included them. So I hope you're happy, because they're probably not earning a lot of bucks on those characters. So that was the usage data, very interesting. And here we have the average of every rank division. So to the far left there you can see light blue ranks, green ranks, yellow ranks, orange, red, purple, blue, and of course the golden ranks, which includes Tekken God. And here we can see how many people we find in all of these ranks. And here you can see that still the most common rank is green rank. Let's see, I'm going to move it a little bit here so we can see all of this. But so the most common rank is this rank right here, which is Fighter. It was the most common, as you can see. Blue is Season 2 and red is Season 3. And in both seasons, Season 2 and Season 3, Fighter is the most common. So all of you talking about, rank, what's it called? How rank has, it's become so much easier to rank up now since Season 1, and that's absolutely true. But a lot of people, talk about it like every single person playing Tekken now is Tekken God Prime, and if you're not Tekken God Prime, you must be a fucking idiot. That's not at all the case. People who reach Tekken God Prime these days are very, very strong players who've played Tekken for a very long time. They've made quite the investment, and most people are still in green ranks. And I talk to many of them often. I've coached a lot of them. They are still in green ranks. And many of them are pretty good players. I've coached Brian players, Mishima players. Yeah. I mean, all sorts of characters, really. And yeah, many of them are just in green ranks. Yeah. So yeah, nothing too surprising about the rank distribution. Tekken God Prime is 0.84% of players. What's the word? It's a rank creep. What's the word everyone's using? Rank bloat. Ranks are bloated. Rank inflation. Oh god, that took a while. Old man brain. There's been a big rank inflation since Season 1. It is true, but not everyone is magically the highest rank now. So just remember that. If you're in green ranks, you are certainly not alone, and there are a lot of strong players in green ranks. Being a green rank doesn't mean you suck at Tekken. no matter what elitists say on Twitter or Tekken Reddit. Please remember that. It's so easy to get blinded by streams and pro players and think that, you know, if you haven't achieved this placement at EVO or a certain rank online, it means you suck. That's not the case. You know, if you made it to green ranks or let's say yellow ranks, you've done pretty well. So, and especially, of course, it's also a little bit depending on the character you play. I dare say that if you play Katarina, reaching yellow ranks is not as earth-shattering as if you're playing, well, let's say Brian or Steve or Lee or a Mishima or, you know, Akuma. You know, you can add a couple of characters to that list. Hwarang. So, pretty interesting. We're going to go to the next one now, and that is the distribution among the characters of the very highest rank, which is Tekken God Prime. You can see at the top it says Tekken God Prime, or am I gonna allow you to see my bar there? Yes. You can see, as I said at the start, we have a lot of Leroys, and second place we have Kazuya, 4%. And then we have Brian, Devil Jin, Paul, and Steve. And this is very interesting because these are characters favored by hardcore Tekken players. Except for Leroy. Kazuya, Brian, Devil Jin, Paul, Steve. Set Paul... Paul is more complicated than most people think, but set him slightly aside and you really have the hardest characters to play in the game, in my opinion. Steve, Kazuya, Devil Jin, Brian. I would just add Lee to that list and Akuma, and you have certainly the hardest characters in the game. So that's interesting. Here we have character loyalists make it to God Prime, basically. And of course, they are very popular characters. You saw the usage data. And that's of course going to affect this statistic. So what character has the least Tekken God Primes? It seems to be Kuma. A character that's not very popular overall. No, sorry, it is Panda. There we go, 0.91%. And after that, Panda Kuma, it's actually Yoshimitsu. It's confirmed. Yoshimitsu players don't have brains. They have, inside their skull, there's used second-hand toilet paper instead. So who's next? Yoshimitsu at 103. Then Eddie, Eliza. Okay, so the gimmick characters basically. Right. Tekken God Prime, you need great fundamentals. That's a Brian player. No. God, I'm a douchebag. Speaking of douchebag elitism. But so very interesting data. You certainly agree, I'm certain. You certainly agree, I'm certain. Beautifully phrased there, main man. Great English. So again, this was very interesting. If you want to check the data yourself and all the other slides I didn't show, please click below in the comment section. But yeah, I hope you were slightly informed by this. That it was slightly informative, and I hope you have a great day. So take care, everyone.